All right. Today, I'm super pleased to be joined by an old colleague, Dane Vahey, Head of Strategic Marketing for OpenAI. Dane, awesome to see you again, and thanks so much for joining our AI Workforce Summit.
Love it to see you, Sean. Good to be here and happy to join.
Awesome. So, hey, Dane, let's jump into it. It's pretty clear at this point that like every business leader on the planet is just thinking about how AI is going to impact their business. And it's pretty obvious that our investors, shareholders, and our customers are putting a lot of pressure on the C-suite to have like a blueprint in terms of transformation and how Gen AI specifically is going to be embedded into the core of various business functions within our organization. And marketing is really kind of one of the areas people are talking a lot about. And this is obviously something near and dear to your heart, especially as it really relates to what people are calling a marketing productivity revolution, right? So real high level, Dane, like what is some general advice for the marketing leaders out there listening today who are kind of tasked with having this plan and this blueprint to execute on this big opportunity?
I mean, the good news is marketing is the number one user we've seen of ChatGPT. We actually look across all different types of organizations, and we do these surveys with our customers, and marketing is the number one of adopting the product. So I think marketers are actually really leading from the front here. Interestingly, sales is like number 10. So even within the go-to-market organization, there's actually a lot of difference between kind of the marketing speed of adoption versus sales. I think my advice to marketers is, there's a ton of obvious use cases, and I think that is what we've seen, content creation, SEO, research, data analysis. But really, marketers should embrace this opportunity to kind of push the envelope for innovation when it comes to using AI and using tools like ChatGPT. I'll give you a few examples of things that have really kind of impressed me. One question at Stripe we used to always ask before we launched any product or do any sort of formal announcement is, what do our customers think? And typically this involved talking to customers, and often last minute we're getting on the phone with customers and having to review our content. But I've seen actually some really innovative marketing teams use tools like Gong, where they can take full transcripts of concerts of customer conversations and actually create these different personas, where they can actually query that into ChatGPT, ask these different customers, these representing a whole bunch of different spectrums, and actually get real-time feedback on products, on content, on design as well, and have this diversity of opinion. So you have all these applications and all this data that is being used by your go-to-market organization that you can actually feed into better inform your marketing strategy. And often marketers are and have the best intentions to get a lot of feedback, but it's often done with a lot of intuition and done in kind of what's worked. And this will really help kind of stress test marketers. So that's kind of one advice I would say is actually use all the data that you have kind of coming into your different systems and make sure you can try to figure out how to fuel that into your AI. I think the second example that I love and I want marketers to be empowered here is as a marketer, I've never been invited to a hackathon, right? We're not seen as a technical really force within a company, but AI is kind of the great leveler in terms of giving anyone in the organization kind of these capabilities where they don't need to have technical aptitude or be a software engineer to develop new applications, develop new products. It really is a universal opportunity. And so I love marketers sponsor more hackathons, do more prompt competitions as well. And a lot of the traditional blockers you've had in the organization, whether it's design resources, whether it's, getting opportunities to code for a website, a lot of those can actually be really overcome. So we see marketers even increasing their human capacity. So I think marketers actually leading and kind of taking the opportunity to really push from the front as the number one adopters of really kind of, particularly generative AI tech technologies, and really helping kind of push these out and be leaders in terms of how they should be talking about the technology. So I think it's an exciting era of kind of marketers being empowered with AI.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when I think about OpenAI, the term that comes to mind for me really is accessible AI. And there's a billboard on the 101 I pass all the time that says, English or whatever language you speak is the new SQL, right? You have immediate access to all this data that you can unlock, all this productivity by the general end user, which is really powerful. One of the hot topics around AI obviously is the sort of how it's going to impact the workforce, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously there's lots of conversations about is it going to kill jobs? Is it going to replace jobs and all these things? And we obviously think about it a little bit different. I mean, I think I've heard the term or the phrase, AI is not coming for your job, but somebody that uses AI probably will come for your job. And we think about it in terms of, not jobs, but actually tasks and workflows that are ripe for AI capabilities to kind of take over and automate, allowing people to kind of focus on different things, right? So, Dane, you've obviously have a really strong history with some really strategic roles, including working with myself at Salesforce. How would you characterize the impact AI will have on like marketing teams over, say, the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think the task orientation is the right way to approach this, Sean. And we actually kind of look at it as a framework, right? I think what you've seen today and kind of like the 3.5 models, actually, we're really good at replacing, 5-second tasks. As we, worked on GPT-4 and now with 4.0, we're seeing kind of like these 5-minute tasks really be replaced as well for a lot of marketers. I think as we continue to evolve the kind of the reasoning and the capabilities of these models, you might start seeing like 5-hour tasks or even 5-day tasks get replaced as well. And kind of what the promise of this is that, marketers should be able to work at more strategic and higher capacity type assignments and less on kind of that day to day. So we really see this as an opportunity to really kind of enhance human potential and really increase human capacity for achievement. So I think like what makes me really optimistic as a marketer particularly is that, I'll spend less time kind of thinking about document creation of, what are the words I'm putting on a page, and much more about actually like strategy impact. I'll be able to kind of pull from a lot more information. I'll be able to get a lot more opinions. I'll be able to actually really kind of complement and kind of think through my own judgment and my own decision making. And then I think what's really exciting is like this individual skill development and growth. I think this idea, and this might be a little bit of shift from marketers, but like this specialized marketer, I think that will actually kind of maybe go into a little bit different direction, right? Because you'll have marketers that will just have such a wide range of skills where instead of just being an SEO marketer or someone that is really focused particularly just on like content creation and copywriting, you're going to get these much more well-rounded marketers where they're going to understand kind of throughout the whole buyer journey how they can drive impact and feel really empowered to do that. We're already seeing, a lot of marketers, a lot of salespeople too, a lot of SDRs that can really elevate their skills and kind of run, full kind of marketing campaigns based on using this technology. So I think we're going to move a little bit away from a specialization. And I think people are going to just have a lot more impact throughout the whole marketing funnel. And I think as someone that's hired a lot of marketers, like I love athletes. I love people that, are willing to understand and learn from other disciplines and empowered by different skill sets. And I think AI is going to really help with that skill development and allow people to be much more strategic marketers. So I'm excited to see kind of like the next breed of marketers kind of come through this AI generation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you mentioned the SDR, right? This is definitely one of those roles that you can see transforming overnight in terms of a lot of the capabilities that AI brings to that job or role or function. Obviously, like we've shipped our AI worker, her name is Piper, specifically designed for that one thing. And that's what we think about. Like, what are the tasks and workflows that they execute every day? And what will OpenAI provide in terms of a foundation model that will help us to like automate a lot of those things to allow them to focus on other types of more general purpose things that leverage their domain expertise, but they don't have to do the repetition. So great way to think about it. Totally agree. And Dane, you've worked at big companies, you've worked at startups, and now, of course, you're on the frontier at OpenAI. So I would imagine you see a huge array of different AI products, right, in your role. Where are you seeing teams have like immediate success in operationalizing AI in sort of their day-to-day marketing? And I think, if I'm correct, I think you actually even have a demo.
Yeah, I was going to show a few examples of different use cases. I'm happy to walk through that. I think, at a high level, I think it's the teams that are most successful with AI are the ones that are kind of all in, right? Like you can't jump in the pool here and get like half wet, right? Like you have to like, really kind of embrace the technology. And we see our CEOs, like the ones that are most adamant pushing this down, it's like their teams should be using ChatGPT and other AI applications like 20 times a day. And I think what I try to orient myself, and like I remind myself, we just launched ChatGPT in November 2022. It's less than 2 years old, right? So we're just kind of coming and learning about this technology. But before I do anything, I kind of ask myself is like, can ChatGPT do that, right? And I think kind of getting into that mindset of like retraining yourself, whether it's like doing something very basic, like putting a sticky note on your laptop, being like, hey, ask ChatGPT first. But I think getting into that mindset of like using AI for every single task will like build that behavior. And we really want to make that jump where it's not like a weekly thing, but it's, all those 5-minute, those 5-second tasks that you have lining up, if you're using AI for that, that'll add a lot of like value and savings in your time and make you really impactful. So I kind of want to walk through like examples showing our new 4.0 capabilities with voice and vision to like share some ways I've seen like sales and marketing teams start really embracing AI. So let me share my screen here.
You know how much I love a demo, Dane, so I'm excited. And the multimodal, innovation that you guys have happening at OpenAI, I'm sure is opening up a brand new world for marketers.
It certainly is. And, this was, we showed this recently a couple of months ago. This is leveraging our new kind of 4.0 technology with voice and vision, our advanced voice. So this is something that's not, available yet, but something that we're hoping to offer very soon to anyone using our products. And kind of a little bit of context before I go through our demo here on kind of what we're showing. Is prior to GPT-4, we basically obviously we had voice capabilities with GPT-4, prior to 4.0, we had voice capabilities with GPT-4. But when you talk to it, it wasn't very fast. There was kind of like this latency. It was every 3 or 4 seconds. It was like a little better than talking to Alexa, but not much better than talking to Alexa. And the problem, there was like 3 modalities at once, right? You had, text to basically taking voice to text, text kind of interpreting this, and then pushing back to audio. So you lost all that context. You lost the ability to look at background noises, to understand, context, to like understand laughter and emotion. So we built this new model, and this is 4.0, which I'm going to show you today, which combines all these different text, vision, audio into one modality. So basically the inputs and outputs are processed on the same network. So I think this is really exciting. We're just at the start of this as well. So, always a little bit of risk showing a live demo. But I think this is a really cool way of how marketers are going to be doing this. So I'm going to jump on. So I'm going to hit here, which is basically pulling up our voice capabilities. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey, what's up?
Cool.
What are you up to today?
I am on a qualified call for their conference right now, and I'd love to show them a demo. You down to help me with that?
I'd be happy to help. What do you need for your demo?
Well, I'm going to pull up a slide, and Sean and I worked at Salesforce together, so I thought this would be a fitting slide to show. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see this slide.
I see the slide now. It's showing Salesforce Customer 360 with Slack in the center.
Great.
Is this what you were going for?
This is. So let's pretend I'm at AE and I got this slide, right? And I have to go and pitch a customer on this. I need like a really great narrative to talk to the slide. Now, there's a lot of information here. Can you help me navigate like what I should say on this slide?
Absolutely. Start by introducing Salesforce Customer 360 and how it helps businesses with a holistic view of customer interactions. Highlight that Slack is central, emphasizing its integration and collaboration capabilities across departments. Then touch on the key segments like experience, intelligence, and single source of truth, explaining how they enable a personalized, efficient customer journey.
You got it. I think this sounds great. The only problem is the customer I'm pitching is Morgan Stanley, and they're a big financial services firm. How can I tailor this pitch to be really specific for Morgan Stanley?
Good point. Emphasize security and compliance first, showing how Salesforce Customer 360 ensures data privacy and regulatory compliance, key concerns for a financial services firm. Highlight the platform's ability to deliver personalized customer experiences at scale, using data-driven insights to enhance client relationships and investment strategies.
I like
also
ChatGPT. That sounds really good. Are there any words I should avoid? Any trigger words that might set Morgan Stanley off that I should not say on this pitch?
Avoid terms that might sound overly ambitious or promise dramatic results, like disruptive or game changer. Also, steer clear of emphasizing rapid change or risk-taking, as financial services firms are generally cautious. Instead, focus on stability, reliability, and how Salesforce can help them innovate while managing risk. Does that cover your concerns?
I think you nailed it. All right. Thanks for your help, ChatGPT.
You're welcome. Good luck with the pitch.
All right.
Reach out anytime you need more help.
So that's one example of how I might use ChatGPT on a sales case. But I actually want to show a marketing example too. So for those of you that don't live in the demand gen world, something like this might be a little intimidating. You get this report It's looking at a bunch of different data. You have different channels here. You have different metrics, cost per lead, leads closing, and so forth. And, if you get this, you want to be able to kind of ask the right questions to kind of know how to interpret the strategy. So I think what's really powerful about Vision is it can look at data like this and really kind of help synthesize what you should be really extrapolating from information like this. So let me kind of have ChatGPT help me look at this data again. Hey, ChatGPT, can you see all the lists of data and tables and charts I have here on my screen?
Yes, I see the data and charts. There are various graphs showing leads, costs, and other metrics over time. What would you like to analyze or discuss about this data?
Yeah, so I have to, understand this data. I'm meeting with our demand gen leader. Can you look at these different channels between email, SEO, content, and tell me, what channels are actually being the most effective for our marketing team right now?
Looking at the charts, the first 3 graphs show leads generated, cost per lead CPL, and percentage of leads closed by channel. Email seems very effective, consistently generating a high number of leads with a relatively low CPL and a good percentage of leads closed. SEO also performs well in terms of leads generated and CPL, but the closure rate is lower compared to email. Content marketing has fluctuating results across all metrics.
ChatGPT. So it sounds like email is a great channel. So I would love to come in with some proactive ideas for how we can really take email to the next level. Kind of looking at this data, what would you suggest we do to really kind of improve our email performance even further?
Based on the data, I'd suggest focusing on optimizing your email content and targeting. Try A/B testing different subject lines, content formats, and calls to action to see what resonates best with your audience. You could also segment your email lists more precisely based on customer behavior or demographics to deliver more personalized content. Also, consider automating follow-up emails based on user interactions to nurture leads more effectively. Does that help spark some ideas?
That does. All right. I think I know what I need to do for this meeting. I appreciate your help, ChatGPT.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. If you need more assistance, feel free to reach out. Take care.
So let me stop sharing my screen here, but hopefully that was a helpful demo of just kind of walking through a few of the Vision capabilities. But you can see as this becomes very easy to use, just pulling up your screen, talking to your computer, pulling up data, pulling up different slides, understanding context. I really kind of think marketers will be using this every single day and just be able to kind of the convenience of the use cases. I know it's something that I love using.
Dane, thanks. I really appreciate that. A couple of things. You can immediately see like the workforce impact from that demo. You can see sales enablement time saved. You can see product marketing time saved. You can see marketing ops or business analyst time saved. It's so amazing that you can have this, really natural language interface, allowing you to, get work done. And the other thing I love the fact that you could interrupt ChatGPT. Yes. When it starts getting verbose and just get on to the next thing. So super fascinating demo. And it's every time I see a demo from you guys, it just gets you excited about being in the software industry. It's as exciting as it's ever been, possibly much more exciting. So
it's really funny you say that because that's it. Talking to my Alexa drives me crazy now because I just want to interrupt it. It's like, who would have known the power feature for human communication was like interruption? Yeah. Maybe we should all be better listeners, but be able to interrupt it when it's talking and clarify and so forth and get context is by far the best thing as well. So
really, really thoughtful because we know that LLMs can be verbose, but that's an amazing demo, and I really appreciate how applied that was to you. Could imagine like your job over time, just like I heard a statistic that said in marketing, people are going to be 50% more productive within the next 12 months, which is extraordinary. If you think about even 40%, that's like a day and a half off a week. Not that they'll ever let you take that off, but impressive. And I think that's why people are talking about this productivity revolution, as it relates to AI and especially as it pertains to marketing. So last question for you, Dane. Let's go future a little bit. So, you guys are obviously like on the front lines of AI development, and obviously your foundation model is really kind of disrupting the way that people work in general and quite honestly, the way people live. what do you think we need to be prepared for in the near future in terms of like the next revolution in the AI era? Like thinking ahead a little bit, like what should we be preparing for?
You know what excites me is this idea of like hyper personalized content. And we started this already with memory and ChatGPT, where, you know, it knows information about me. And I think what's powerful is I can, unlike real life, I can selectively edit my memory, right? I can say what I wanted to remember, what I don't. But as you build this more and it becomes more capable, and you start using these models, again, you know, ChatGPT is less than 2 years old, but imagine you using ChatGPT and you have this history of, you know, 8-9 years of data, of interactions, of experience. It's going to really kind of understand your preferences, your style, your past history really well. You know, it can enter in all the documents I've ever created. You know, eventually I can, you know, take all my emails and put them in there, or really know my tone of voice. So I think we're just going to see right now is this really kind of like basic version of ChatGPT, in the sense that it's really kind of, you know, feeding, and you can customize it obviously in a lot of ways, but it's kind of feeding how you interpret and how you interact with it. But I think we're just going to see a lot more sophistication, a lot more personalization. And then through that data, you're going to start seeing, we already have a lot of companies doing this today with our Assistants API, of building this agentic behavior where, you know, AI can help kind of automate a lot of these tasks on your behalf. And I think that's a really powerful frontier. You know, imagine, Sean, you know, finding time on the schedule. If we had, you know, 2 agents that were able to communicate with our calendars, find time collectively, know things that work well for you and I, be able to schedule this meeting, like that's a powerful time saver than going back and forth on having to interact and find opportunities. So I think the idea of this like hyper personalization, you know, really guided self-learning development, this like really nuanced actions, and then these agents that are able to help you do all these tasks and automation on your behalf. I think, you know, 50% productivity might be low. I think you can free up a lot more time to actually work on a lot more, you know, strategic, impactful work and take a lot more on. So I'm really excited to see just kind of the savings of all these kind of automated road tasks and the personalization level that's coming to AI version.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, people forget that we're in the first step of a marathon, and that, you know, ChatGPT hasn't been around all that long, right? And I think I saw a statistic from, I think it was Alex Wang on the 20VC pod, talking about GPT-3 was trained on less than a petabyte of data, trained on like the internet. And like you imagine like the vast amount of frontier data, and then you start thinking about historical data and how that's applied, you can think that personalization is going to be extraordinary. So, hey, Dane, really appreciate you joining us today and your insights, and really love the demo. That was really great, and it was good to connect with you again, and I hope we get to connect in person soon.
Yeah, wonderful. And if anyone wants to join me for a marketing-led hackathon, let me know. It's just Dane at OpenAI. We'd love to speak to more people building in AI. I think the other thing I love about my job is every time I chat with a customer, I hear a kind of a wonderful or brand new use case. There's really no box kind of limiting the potential for what people are doing. So you have great things you're doing. I'd love to hear about them as well. So feel free to reach out. And thanks for the time, Sean. I really appreciate joining you and everyone else here in the qualified world for this talk.
Awesome. Thanks, Dane. Cheers.